So Wits is plotting a new way forward. The question is, how will protesters and students respond? We talk now to Vice Chancellor Adam Habib, who joins us on Newsnight. Prof, it's great to have you. Thank you very much. You seem to be a wanted man tonight. There was talk of a march on your house, a protest outside your house. I believe in some way that actually did happen. What can you tell us?
It didn't happen. What had happened is we had received a request from some of the protest leaders, in Dlamini and then Fasiha, who said that they wanted to come to my house and give me a memorandum. I said that I think it's inappropriate. It was sometime this morning, about 10:30 or 11, while we were in meetings. The first thing I said is, firstly, I'm occupied. But secondly, I think it's inappropriate to come to my house. That's never happened. And that I don't like the implied threat against my family. I think it's inappropriate. You've always come to our offices. There's always a protocol that we've established. Why do you want to violate that?
Do you feel personally sort of targeted now?
Of course I do. I mean, I think it's unacceptable. I think it's unacceptable to personalize this in the way that it has. I think it's inappropriate to start targeting families and homes. This is not the way. Even with protests, there are rules, and the rules, implicit rules and ethics must be obeyed. And I think that it's unacceptable that students think that there's no rules for any engagement.
All right, so they went past your house, the student...
So there was security at the house, and what they decided to do is not... I did say very clearly that I will not receive the memorandum on principle at my home. That if you want to, we can have it on campus, and it has to go through our normal protocols. You approach the Dean of Students, and the Dean of Students will receive it. If you want an engagement, then I'll bring the executive for an engagement with the leadership as you choose them. And they didn't accept that, and so they didn't go to the house. They went to the medical school, and they had a meeting there. They marched from the main campus, and they went back.
Our reporter earlier was talking about what they'd asked for in the memorandum, which they wanted to meet you about. They say that you've not been visible. You would say what?
Well, firstly, I haven't been visible for 7 days because I haven't been here. I have been traveling. I've come yesterday. I've come immediately, and I've been visible on the airwaves. You've seen me all over the place. And what do they mean that I'm not visible? I spent last year an entire night in a concourse. I engage on a regular basis in meeting them. When students say, we want to meet you, last year they said to me they want to meet me. They said we want to engage you, but they never allowed me to speak the entire time I was there. That's not an engagement. That's engaging in the spectacle of humiliation. If you want to engage, I'm happy to do so, but you can't do so in a group of 500 or 1,000.
All right, so we have a new development today, and this is the move that the university, under your stewardship, is making to poll students. Why do you want to do that?
So there's two reasons. The poll is not to determine how we move. The poll is to gauge what people think. I have received letter after letter after letter from students and parents saying, please let the academic program continue. I'm desperate to complete my degree. I need this degree. I need to graduate so that I can put money on the table for my family and support my parents. All of these things is what I've been saying. The students say they represent the entire student constituency. So I said, okay, let's gauge what the students want. Let's gauge what the academics want. Most people, I am sure, will say they're very supportive of a fees must fall position. But they're also saying, we want the academic program to continue.
So what is the poll specifically asking?
The poll will be asking, do you want the academic program to continue even if we have to have security protocols in place? Is that something that you can live with? And they have to say yes or no, because that will allow us to gauge whether the vast majority of students and whether the vast majority of academics want to save the academic program for 2016. Because the message that's coming out of the protesters is the following: no free education, no education at all. It's a dangerous position to take. You know, there was a slogan in the 80s.
I saw your tweet in that regard, a whole generation of students, you said in your tweet.
That's right. When you said no education before liberation, you destroyed a whole generation.
Here's the thing though, Adam, there's no buy-in, and we're quoting only what we know this afternoon from Dlamini and other student leaders who've encouraged students, do not take part in this poll, it's an illegitimate poll, and so on. How do you see it resolving itself? I mean, would students ostensibly have to go to university and get tuition under security guard?
Well, firstly, the poll is simply the following. The poll is simply the question, do you want the academic program to continue? The student leadership say, we represent the students. Well, I'm saying, I'm asking a question of the students about what do they want.
So you don't believe them, Adam? You think that maybe they don't have a mandate from a large enough...
I am getting letter after letter after letter saying from students, we want the academic program to continue. The protesters are saying, we do not want the academic program to continue. I want to determine who's right here. So let me be able to determine this. How can a leadership that is meant to be democratically accountable to the very constituency not want that constituency to pronounce on what they have? I've received tweets and responses from some of the leaders that saying, well, you know, these people don't represent the working class. You are the SRC leaders of Wits University. How can you not want your own constituency to be heard on this important question?
Practically, how does it evolve? We know that the classes are suspended at the moment. Hopefully, well, there was some talk that it would resume on Monday. So how quickly could this poll evolve? And take us through the steps then.
So
if you get a result, what happens?
So effectively what we're doing is, we've closed until further notice. Effectively for this week, we're likely to be closed. We've effectively made a decision this morning that we want to poll our staff and our students. By Thursday, we hope to have the poll. It will be done electronically. We've got the electronic systems in play. I've got a team working on that, and they're putting that in place. We will try and get somebody to steward the poll, like the IEC, which has credibility, and then so that the results can be trusted. We'll get the answers, because parents want to be heard on this thing. Students want to be heard. Let's hear what they say. We'll announce the results. And depending on what the results said, we will have to act accordingly. And that's what
Say it's a call for return to studies and tuition.
If we have to return to studies, then
does that not antagonize?
Well, if we have to return to studies, then my question is, can I guarantee the safety and security? My second issue that I have to say is I am engaging with, and I've called for an engagement with the Minister of Education, Higher Education, with the Minister of Police and the Minister of Justice, saying it's your responsibility to look after public universities. I went last week in the UN. Other vice chancellors in other parts of the world are astonished that I have to look at private security. They say, what's wrong with your police force? Don't they look after your public university? They're meant to look after it. So I'm going to engage them and say, when are you looking after? Meet your responsibility to create a safe space so that my students and my staff can go and conduct academic stuff.
Well, speaking about safe spaces, there's some tragic news, and this is a statement from Sharona Patel, who speaks for the university when you're not there, and predominantly has been a voice on this, was talking about the death today of one of your staffers. Ostensibly, there was the release of some fire extinguishers in Jubilee Hall residence. I think someone inhaled that and have now succumbed to that. So today.
Basically, there has been the assertion and the allegation that a staff member has died, that the staff member died as a result of the fact that fire extinguishers were opened by some students against others, and in the process they nailed. We've conducted a full study. By later this evening, I would know exactly what the study actually demonstrates, and then obviously we will make a formal announcement. But there is somebody that has passed away. There is the assertion that may very well have been caused by or facilitated by or accelerated by, if you like, by the fire extinguisher being used in the vicinity of that person.
Would you say these are dangerous times on your campus?
I think that they are dangerous times anywhere in this country. We are having residences burning. We are having infrastructure burning. Until now, we're lucky. We haven't had that at Wits. But it is untenable that we should be burning infrastructure. We are destroying the society if we continue to behave like this.
Prof. Habib, thank you very much for talking to us. Appreciate your time on Newsnight. Professor Adam Habib responding to the ongoing protests at Wits University.